Hi, welcome to Yoga with Demi. I'm Demi. Today we're going to be doing a full body stretch, only 15 minutes. So grab your mat and join in. I'd like you to start seated in the middle of the mat, cross-legged. We're going to warm up the shoulders, so rolling our shoulders up towards our ears and then back down the spine. Keep doing this in a circular motion. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. On the next exhale, we'll roll our shoulders forward, changing the direction. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. Now we can begin on our cat and cow poses. Starting on all fours, making sure our wrists are in line with our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. Curving the back, navel into the spine, looking down to our mat. Inhale, looking up to the sky, arching our back. Exhale, looking back down to our mat. Inhale, arching our back, looking up to the sky. Exhale, looking back down to the mat, curving our spine. And one more time, looking up, inhale, arching the back. Now we can sit back into our child's pose, reaching our hands to the top of the mat, stretching out those arms, and then using your toes to kick up into downward facing dog. Bending one knee at a time, walking through your downward facing dog, stretching out your calf and your hamstrings. Being aware of your shoulders, keeping them away from your ears, and just feeling grounded in this pose. Being aware of your breath here. Now we're going to be lifting up our left leg up into the sky, pointing the toes to the sky, and just feeling that stretch in our hips. Breathing. Beautiful. Bringing it back down, and then we're going to do it on the right side. Bringing our foot to the sky, straightening our leg, opening up our hips. Bringing our attention to our leg and bringing that right foot back down to our mat. Keeping our hands nice and grounded on the mat, focusing on our breath. Taking a vinyasa here, we're going to go into high plank position. Bend the elbows and bring your chest forward to the top of the mat and then bring it to the sky. Let your legs follow behind you onto the mat. Keep your shoulders away from your ears, making sure the chest is out and your shoulders back. If you like an extra stretch through the neck, you could look back at your ankles. Slowly releasing there. We can kick back into downward facing dog, placing our left foot in between our hands, and on the exhale, bring our hips forward and coming up into warrior one. Inhale, lifting your hands up to the sky, and then exhale, bringing our hands down, feeling that nice stretch, keeping our hips nice and squared. We want our knee in line with our ankle, and then pivoting our back foot, checking that our heels are in line, and then straighten our arms, looking back and forth along our arms, making sure they're straight. Bending that front elbow, landing it on our knee, and then bringing our hand up over our ear, and just feeling that nice stretch along our obliques. Beautiful. Now coming back into warrior one, bringing that back foot forward. Feel a couple of pulses here if that feels good for you, just for an added little stretch for our hips. Now place that back knee grounded onto the mat. We're going to go into runner's lunge, checking that our hips are squared here. Beautiful. Lifting up now, we're going to go back into downward facing dog. Being mindful of where you are now in this position, how much better you were than your first attempt of downward facing dog. Take attention to your breathing now. Place your right foot in between your hands on the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your hands up, checking that your knee is in line with your ankle and making sure your hips are squared. Keep your body upright so you feel more body weight in your hips, therefore increasing the stretch. Always check yourself in this position. Pivot your back foot now into Warrior 2, making sure your heels are in line with each other. Beautiful. Now place that elbow to the front knee and bring your hand over, feeling that nice stretch along your obliques. Feel your shoulders away from your ears. Lovely. Now come back into Warrior 1 position. Lift your hands up, inhale. Exhale, come down into Runner's Lunge, dropping that back knee onto the mat and just feeling that nice stretch in the front of your quad. Now we can come back into Downward Facing Dog. Walking through this Downward Facing Dog, being aware of your breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. That's great. Okay, so now bring that left leg pointed towards the sky. Bend that knee and then bring that knee to your left elbow, placing it parallel to the top of your mat, and then sitting back, letting the back leg follow. Making sure that our back leg is in the middle of our mat and checking that our front leg is in line with the top of our mat. Now this is an advanced pose, so if you can't get to this level, that is okay. You could use a cushion. Placing the cushion underneath your bum will actually help you be lifted, and then you could easily just practice and that will get you closer to where you want to be. But right now you're exactly where you need to be. So when you're ready, you can place your forehead on the mat, breathing throughout this stretch, feeling it within your glutes and your hips, enjoying that and breathing the oxygen into those areas, feeling the prana. Lovely. Gently coming up now, we're going to be coming back into Downward Facing Dog, bringing that front leg with the right leg, feeling that nice stretch, and then bringing that right leg up into the sky, straightening it and stretching it out to the sky, opening up the hips, bending that knee, bringing that knee to the chest, landing it next to the right hand, placing it parallel to the top of your mat, checking that your back leg is in the middle of the mat, and then on your next exhale, slowly coming down onto your elbows, breathing through it. And then when you're ready, you could slowly come down, bringing the forehead onto the mat, feeling grounded to the earth, allowing that prana to enter your body, healing your body and stretching out those muscles. Beautiful. Gently coming up now, placing the hands to the top of your mat, grounded into the earth. Picking up into Downward Facing Dog, walking through the pose, stretching out those legs. Taking a vinyasa, bringing yourself into high plank position, Chaturanga Dandasana, Upward Facing Dog, opening up that chest, lifting your head up. And then back into Downward Facing Dog. Beautiful. Bringing that left leg in between your hands, placing it there, and then lifting up, inhale into Warrior 1, and exhale into Warrior 2, straightening those arms. And then straighten that front leg, placing your hand to the mat or to your ankle or to a block, and then looking up to the top of your hand, exhale, looking back to the mat, releasing your shoulders away from your ears. Beautiful. Now bringing your hands back to the top of your mat, placing your foot back with the other into Downward Facing Dog. Bringing that right foot forward in between the hands, and then inhaling, lifting up into Warrior 2, checking that your heels are in line with each other, and then placing your hand on the mat, or on your ankle, or if you have a block, on a block beside your foot. Keep your arms nice and straight and in line with each other. Shoulders should be away from your ears, and if your neck gets sore, just look down to the ground. Lovely. Coming up now slowly, bring that front foot forward so it's parallel with the back foot. Slowly come down with the chest, bending from the hips, holding onto your ankles. This is a wide-legged forward fold. Release your head. You can also place your hands onto the mat, bringing you further into the stretch. This is a lovely stretch for the hamstrings and your calf muscles. It's also really good for you to let the blood rush down to your head. Lovely work. Now slowly bring yourself up, inhaling while you're doing so. Once you're up, we're going to take a seated position onto our mat, and we're going to be doing a shoelace with our legs, which is really good for our inner thighs, our hips, and just our legs in general. So you want to sit in the middle of your mat. You want to stack your right leg on top of your left, so your knees are in line. And you want to make sure that your feet are outwards and in line with your hips, checking that your buttocks is grounded on your mat. If this is too difficult or painful for you, feel free to sit in a cross-legged position. Now we're going to bring our hands in front of us, bending our elbows, bringing the right elbow underneath our left, and then holding the opposite hands, feeling that nice stretch in our shoulder blades. A variation for this is that you could also hold on to the opposite shoulders, so you're basically hugging yourself. That's lovely. Now you could gently releasing your legs as well, as slow as you'd like. And if you feel you need to, you can give your legs a little shake out before we move on to the opposite leg. Staying aware of your breath here, checking that your sitting bones are on the mat. So bringing that left leg underneath the right leg. The knees are in line with each other, the feet out to the side. Bringing your right elbow underneath the left elbow and then holding onto the opposite hands. Feeling that nice stretch in the shoulders. Feel free to swap around your hands too if that feels more comfortable for you. Bringing in that further stretch for your shoulders. Lovely. Now gently release. Let your hands fall down to your side. We're going to take a gentle stretch for the neck. So bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, extending and lengthening the neck. Focusing on the breath here. And then inhale, coming back to the center. Exhale, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder, lengthening the neck. Beautiful, and then gently release and bringing it back to the center. Thank yourself for being here. Give yourself a blessing for the rest of the day. Inhale, lifting the hands up, and exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Thank yourself. Thank the earth. Thank every single breath. Inhale, lift your hands up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you soon. Love, Demi.